The freezer is not a time machine. Rude way to start, I know. But that chicken breast from 2021 that's been sitting in there is not going to cryogenically come out of deep sleep and be the same thing it was when you put it in there. Welcome to Kitchen Myths. It's a little series I put together to take those little pieces of advice you hear from time to time, but figure out what's real, what's not, and why it's real. Today's myth: if it's frozen, it's good forever. The freezer slows things down. It doesn't stop time. At freezer's temperatures, bacteria mostly stop growing, which is good. Mostly. But flavor, texture, quality, enzymatic activity, those can still fall apart over time. There's a few reasons. First, let's talk about dehydration and freezer burn. That's moisture leaving the food, and that's the growth of ice crystals. Usually not dangerous, but it tastes like disappointment wearing a winter coat. Second, texture changes. Water inside the food freezing into ice crystals. The slower it freezes, the larger those ice crystals get, and the more cell damage that happens inside that product is evident. Typical home freezers freeze very slowly, which create larger ice crystals. That does more damage as it breaks down the cell structure. That's why some frozen foods come out mushy, dry, or spongy when they're thawed or cooked. It's just kind of sad. The longer food sits, or the more it thaws and refreezes, the more that damage builds over time. And yes, later in this series, we will talk about blast freezing, rapid freezing, or nitrogen freezing, and how small ice crystals can produce a much better product. Now, third, fat can still go stale in freezing temperatures. Foods with fat like meat, fish, butter, nuts, or baked goods can still slowly oxidize even in the freezer. That means they're picking up cardboardy, rancid, or stale flavors over time. And then enzymes can still be part of the problem as they stay active, even when frozen, especially in vegetables, fruits, and greens. If those enzymes are not slowed down by some sort of a blanching or a change in pH, then while freezing, they can keep working against your color, texture, and flavor. Basically, nature is still working to compost that material. So what can you do? First, wrap food very tightly. Use freezer bags, vacuum seal if you can, press out the extra air. Don't allow any extra room for oxygen to keep oxidizing your items. Second, make sure you label the items with a date. Not because you're fancy, not because you saw it on a TV show, but because future you can sometimes be a little bit of a liar and absolutely say, I'll remember when I put this in. Third, for vegetables, blanch them in kind of simmering water and then cool them quickly before freezing when appropriate. That helps slow down enzymatic activity and protects the color, texture, and flavor more than if you would just put them in raw. And finally, use the freezer as a short to medium-term storage tool, not a culinary witness protection program. Think about 6 to 8 months being your target, with 12 months just being the absolute. If you haven't used it by now, you should probably get rid of it, find some other use for it. All that said, frozen food can still be safe long after it stops being good. So yes, freeze your food. It saves money, it reduces waste, and it's incredibly useful. Just remember, the freezer is not a time machine, it's a pause button with a battery that's slowly dying.